Well, good morning everyone. Welcome to Yorkshire Gamer, and I thought I'd do a bit of an update on what's going on here. We're in week 8 of the pandemic, lockdown now. Things changed a little bit yesterday, but I don't think it's going to have any effect on the gaming here. We're still 6 feet away, not quite 2 metres, up the opposite end of the table. So it might be a while until we get gaming and resuming here. So I thought I'd just do a little update on what's happening during the pandemic and go through a few bits of stuff that I'm painting and just have a general chat about how things are going in the gaming world in particular. So on camera at the moment we've got a new command base, my Italian Wars army. These have got a Florentine flag, and it's one of the Perry's metal personality command figures on the left as you're looking at it, and on the right is one of the plastic light cavalry figures, which you'll probably be aware of now. I'm quite fond of using as standard bearers. So this is fourth command base now. Fifth command base, and I've got a few more bits and pieces lying around to make some more up, so we'll be featuring those shortly. So let's have a look at some of the other stuff that we've painted recently. So smoothly into the next unit, and these are for my 28mm Crusaders, and these are a unit of Foot Knights, 28mm figures from Fireforge Games, and these are painted up in a guess livery for the Kingdom of Jerusalem, which was around from about 1099 when Jerusalem was seized for the first time, up until Third Crusade, or just before the Third Crusade, when Jerusalem was taken again. And then I understand recently that there was a group of them hung around and fought under the Kingdom of Jerusalem banner during the Third Crusade. So our Crusade stuff's kind of Third Crusade and around that time, so they fit nicely into the pattern. And this is the third foot unit I've done in this livery. They are previously done crossbow and a unit of foot sergeants, and I've got a couple of horse units to do that I'll talk about shortly, but that's the latest unit of knights. Something else just off the paint deck. I'm not going to show all of these. I've done quite a lot of these, so bob down to the blog if you've not seen these already. This is the cast of Life on Mars, if you're not familiar with the TV show, and it's from a game called 7TV, or there's another game called Geezer's Shut It. I'm waiting for the rules to arrive. Basically 70s British police, cops and robbers style stuff, car chases, all that sort of stuff. If you're from that era, as I think most of us are who game these days, you'd be familiar with those sorts of TV shows. So Gene Hunt on the left there with his trendy white shoes, Sam Tyler, the guy who came back in time, and then Ray and Chris and WPC, brain's gone, I can't remember last name. And then behind that are a couple of 1/43rd scale Vanguards cards, Austin Allegro and Morse's Jag, would you believe. So that's a project that's nearly finished now. I've just got some bad guys to do. But if you bob down to the Yarkshire Gamer blog, you can't really miss it. It's Yarkshire with an A, so that's YARKSHIRE, Gamer, all one word. Put that into Google, it's the only result you'll get back, trust me. And bob down and have a look at what's going on in the 7TV world. So I'm going to go on to shaky cam in a mo and just show you some of the horses that I've been doing recently. My apologies, change of plan. I've got a couple more things to do on here before I go for a wander around the games room. These will be on the blog very shortly if they're not on already. I put a post out on TMP and Led Adventure Forum a few weeks ago just discussing uh, lack of World War One cavalry for Mesopotamia, and someone suggested irregular miniatures as a possible source. So I bought some samples for them, and you can have a look at the thoughts on the blog post when that goes up, and a bit of discussion on there. And I'd love if you got involved and had a chat about what we think about these figures. Considerably cheaper than most of the other options that are available, but a little bit less detail, and slightly smaller as well. So that's something that we can talk about down on blog. So last unit for review in a second. Okay, these are going to be part of a Medici Bandane era group of figures that I'm going to do, based on some reading I've been doing recently, and very good book from Italy about the Bandai. I've not gone mad and literally just painted them black. This is a work in progress, so I just thought I'd show you where we are with these, and if we update next month, hopefully they'll be finished. So horses in the front row are done. I'm ready to start work on the figures. The flag is stuck to the pole, nothing more. I've not done the edges, I've not folded it, I've not weathered it at all. And then the horses on the back row are about 80% finished. So that's a work in progress at the moment. So let's go and have a wander around the all the stuff that's in the game room at the moment. So there we go. Here's the Yorkshire Gamer table, and as you can see, there's no game on there anymore. We were halfway through an AWI game when the pandemic struck, and we had to give up. And unfortunately, I've had some workmen in, so I had to clear the table for them. So the game is away, and we're just waiting for things to resume. So, as any typical wargamer will tell you, if there's a flat space in a wargames room and there isn't a game on, it will get filled up. So this is basically all stuff I've been working on recently. So we'll just flip back there. You can see that's the photography area, which is the only thing that's in operation in this room at the moment. This thing I bought from Hobbycraft, I think it was, off light, with a daylight bulb. That's what I use to paint with, and I bring that up here when I'm going to do a bit of photography. And then the stuff that we spoke about earlier on, and then there's a random selection of houses and terrain there that I use for photography. And then let's have a look at some of the stuff that's around waiting to be painted. I put a post up on Facebook a little bit while ago about a big batch of horses that I did by painting with oils. I'm going to do a video on that next week. But this is stuff that's lying around with horses done waiting to be painted. So we've got some Crusades commanders there from Courtney's Miniatures. And then we've got a big batch of First World War British cavalry ready to paint. Next to them are some Crusades, the Poor Soldiers of the Fellow of Christ from Gripping Beast, ready to go. Some Ghulam to bolster up the Muslim forces for the Crusades. Random bit of Italian Wars artillery that I can't find a box for at the moment, so that's just why that's out on the table. Some more Muslim heavy cavalry, Gripping Beast plastics. They're going to be the Knights of the Kingdom of Jerusalem. And then we have some mounted arquebusiers for my Italian Wars. And finally some sergeants, plastic sergeants for the Kingdom of Jerusalem. So all those horses that you've just seen You can just see there, all done in a couple of hours with oil paints. So we'll talk about that next week. So there we go. I'll just leave you with a view of these. Hope you've enjoyed this review. It's certainly something I plan to do a little bit more in the future. Maybe do one a month, something like that. Just visual representation of what's going on here at Yarkshire Gamer. Pop by to the blog. We're everywhere. Well, I'm everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, etc. Instagram. We've got accounts there going everywhere. We're not a business. I'm not a business at all. Just a gamer with a few friends who likes to game around the house, and a bit mad because I've got a large collection of figures. But there we go. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.